Guys, what did I tell y'all, man? What did I tell y'all about the Lakers? They're trying to lie to you again. Here comes the media. They've been doing it for the last 2 to 3 weeks, overhyping this team and disrespecting every other team in the NBA just to make LeBron look good. I am so tired of the mainstream media, y'all. But we seen last night, clear cut, after they got spanked by the Celtics, just exactly what this team is. They are not championship material. Let's get into it, man. Jason Tatum, he did go off though, but Jason Temp, he spoke about it on Hoops Tonight. And I just want to let y'all know, like, when I watch, like, that game last night, what happened in the third quarter? LeBron James was in the third quarter. They was getting their ass whooped. He goes out because of an injury. All of a sudden, now the Lakers are only down by 6. When LeBron is not on the floor, this team is better without him. Consistently. I don't care about his stats. I don't care that he gave you 20-something and he's a triple-double. The rebounds, they're crap. Every rebound that he ever gets is a joke for the most part. Actually, we're going to go through a lot of that today, man. But this team showed us a lot of who they are, and I'm going to let them talk about it real quick, then I'm going to chime in.
Boston is an entirely different challenge. Luka was good in the playoffs last year, defensively, until he got to Boston and he completely fell apart because Boston presents this unique problem, which is if you guard one-on-one, if you offer help in those one-on-one situations, they've got all these catch and shoot threats around, and they're really good at setting up their spacing and picking you apart. It's a very
Beyond that, Boston just has the most talent out of any team in the league. Like, if we're just being honest about it, and I don't say this proudly as a Laker fan, but they basically got a super team, and they're just not bringing it up, bro. The worst player out of their starting 5 is Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis. I would probably say Drew Holiday. Kristaps, if you really pay attention, is as good as Pau Gasol was. And he's like their 4th or 5th best player. Could you imagine if Kobe had this type of talent on his team post a Karl Malone, Gary Payton 2003 year where he was just immature? But could you imagine in 2010 if the Dwight Howard trade worked out and they had Chris Paul at the same time? Like Kobe, Chris Paul, D. Howard. That's almost basically what this Boston Celtics team is filled with. The problem is their so-called best player sometimes is inconsistent in Jason Tatum. But could you imagine giving that type of talent to Kobe? LeBron has that type of talent all the time. The Cavs team, I know y'all want to shit on Kevin Love, stop. The Heat team, Chris Bosh, everybody else, Ray Allen, come on, Dwayne Wade. But it's like Kobe didn't have this type of talent, not in his later part of his career. Now, when you look at the Celtics, though, they're just loaded. They're honestly kind of built like the 80s Lakers, like the Magic and Kareem Lakers, bro. But I personally have been saying for a while now, the Lakers might be the number 2 seed right now, but the Western Conference outside of the Thunder is basically wide open. There's really no real threats out there. And this isn't just because of the Luka trade. Truthfully, like I've already said, the Lakers have always had a loaded team. This is why they were able to man the fort when AD got hurt. Everybody was like his defensive anchor. Now, JJ Redick, they buy into his plan. I'm not saying he's a better coach than Darvin Ham, but they buy into it because LeBron buys into JJ Redick because he handpicked JJ Redick. So he's buying into it. The difference is you have a guy who's your so-called best player who is always inconsistent. You don't know what day he wants to hustle, what day he wants to sit on his ass, and what day he wants to blame everybody else instead of him. And as good as his numbers may look to some of y'all who really don't understand basketball, you just look at stats, they're really not that good when you really look at his overall game. He's a negative on the floor constantly. If you were to take half the shots LeBron gets, because another thing y'all never talk about is the fact that he shoots the most shots every single night out of any player on the team, even Luka on some nights. But y'all never want to talk about that. Now, if you was to allow LeBron to minimize his stats, give more shots to Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, now you got 3 different players who's giving you 15 to 25 points a night. I think Austin Reeves is averaging like 20 points a game right now. He really could be averaging about 24. Rui could be averaging closer to 19. And honestly, as surprising as it would be, a rookie Dalton Connect could give you 16 points a game if he had like 6 more shots per game. But no, all those shots have to go to Bron, who's not going to give you any real production on defense. This team is a fraud, y'all. I know everybody's hyped. I know the media is, pitching it to y'all as hard as they can. I find it disrespectful because you have real teams like the Cavs, the Thunder, who are hustling, on pace to win close to 70 games, y'all. Both these teams can win 70 games this season. And like I've said in other videos, that is unheard of. The last team to even touch 70 or get close to it was the fucking Warriors in 2016. That was almost a decade ago. For y'all who still remember it like it was yesterday, it wasn't. That was a decade ago almost. That was 9 seasons. That's incredible that a Donovan Mitchell can take a team this far, that a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can take a team that far. And that's why I always put him ahead for the MVP voting. Look, it's not to disrespect Jokic, of course, but bro, anybody who wins 70 games should win an MVP. That coach should win Coach of the Year. There shouldn't be no discussion about JJ Redick. The Lakers, if lucky, they could get like 52 wins, and that's a good season, yo. Like, it's not just a crap on the Lakers. They have a really good team. They have an abundance of riches. But if we're being honest, they are still underperforming as compared to the talent that they have on their roster. 53 wins is cool, but even whether it was Anthony Davis or Luka, if you just took LeBron out, you're looking at a 60-win team this year. That's how good and how much talent this roster has. There's only one person who constantly holds this team back but gets all the praise. And that is LeBron Ramon James. But we'll go through that a little bit later.
Very different setup than Luka's on the ball and there's a dude 3 feet to his right and there's a dude 3 feet to his left. And if he somehow gets through all 3 of those, there's another guy helping because the Lakers have 2 or 3 guys that they feel comfortable giving catch and shoot shots to. That's really as we start to get real about who Boston is as a championship contender. Yeah, their record hasn't been as good as Cleveland or Oklahoma City this year. Who cares? They don't have the same level of urgency. Cleveland.
And, I got to rewind what he just said, but when they got rid of D'Angelo Russell was the better player in that trade, in my opinion. But in hindsight, you see why they did it. They clearly knew Luka was coming, and this is why they've been pitching to get rid of Russell for years. The fix has been in on that trade. So they get rid of Russell, they add Luka, but Dorian Finney-Smith and the other guy that they got from that trade, like they're pretty good, bro. Defensively, Finney-Smith, he's right there with Vando. People are wondering why their defense is so good. Like, him and Vando are hustlers, bro. And Finney-Smith can actually hit that 3. So you really got a really good supporting stretch wing player out of that deal. And honestly, when you have a Luka on your team, that's basically all you need is a couple of those. Now, he's not no star stretch wing, but he can get you what you need, bro.
City this year. Who cares? They don't. Yeah, their record hasn't been as good as.
What is he saying?
Really, as we start to get real about who Boston is as a championship contender. Yeah, their record hasn't been as good as Cleveland or Oklahoma City this year. Who cares? They don't have the same level of urgency. Cleveland is having the best season in franchise, not in franchise history, but in a very long time.
Did y'all hear that? Yo, listen to this dude. Listen to him fumble on his words. Watch this.
Cleveland is having the best season in franchise, not in franchise history, but in a very long time.
Whoa. Did y'all hear him try to fix his words? No, they are having actually the best record in franchise history. They're on pace to win 70 games. That's never happened. You're only saying that because LeBron was a Cav. Wow. See, this is the thing that I'm talking about, bro. Like, the Cavs should be the story. They should have as much press as the Golden State Warriors did in 2016. They should be ballyhooed and talked about on a large scale. And the same thing for the Thunder, bro, but you barely hear anything. There's very few segments. It's always the Lakers. The Lakers, the Lakers, the Lakers. People have forgotten about the Celtics. You were right with your first part. Who cares? No, you should care because nobody wins 70 games. For y'all in the comment section, for y'all listening, 70 games is not normal. There's only been like 4 teams ever to do it. And in the NBA, 8 years or 77 years. It's only been like 4 teams to win 70 games, bro. They're both on pace to do that this season. I'm not saying that they're a shoehorn to win the championship or anything, because realistically, the Celtics have all the talent in the world. I would say the Celtics should win, like off of a talent perspective. But I think that it's a game 7 for sure against the Cavs, and I would not be surprised if the Cavs demolish the Celtics and the Celtics flail in game 7 and have a meltdown. I would not be surprised at all. But 70 games, you guys are legends. If they pull this off, and I think right now they got like 53-10 record. If they pull this off, you guys are legends. You did something that only Jordan and Steph Curry has done in the last 30 years. That's incredible. But in order to protect LeBron, as a matter of fact, how many games has LeBron won? What's the most games he won? Let's go look. Okay. The Cavs' best record right here was 66-16. That was, of course, with LeBron. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's incredible. I think the last highest winning team was the 2016 Spurs. They had 67-15. I remember that record. So this is nothing to sneeze at. Even though they didn't win the championship that year, this is nothing to sneeze at. But Donovan Mitchell is on pace to beat LeBron James, to stomp his record out. They will definitely get past 66 games. There's just no way, unless they go on some 5-game losing streak over the next week. It's like, what? Look, they're 53-10 right now, right? 53-10 right now. So basically, you have 19 games left. There's no way they're going on some 5-game losing streak unless the refs are just against them in order to protect LeBron or some other crazy shit happens. This team is going to eclipse that 66 record, and they should be 70-12 or even 71-11. That is unheard of. So while he's stumbling on his words in order to defend LeBron James, of course, the truth is right there. They'll be the best team in Cavs history. And they would have done it post LeBron James, which almost never happens. The Bulls never got back to glory unless you want to count 2009. It took them decades to get back to glory post Michael Jordan. The Lakers always get back because it's the Lakers. Everybody's going to go there. They can sign a Shaquille O'Neal or grab a LeBron out the blue, but it even took them years to do it. This Cavs team has been a good team for like 3 or 4 seasons since they traded for Donovan Mitchell. And now he's getting them to most likely be 71-11 or 72-10. And we're not going to, not 72, and 70-12, I'm sorry. And we're not going to give them the respect they deserve. And so, yes, stop protecting LeBron. He's not a Cav no more. Stop protecting him. And to be honest with you guys, I'm starting to think, because I don't really look into it. Come on, like, who really watches Cavs games like that? So I get why the media doesn't, uplift them the way they're supposed to. But you guys are the media, bro. You guys are supposed to, respect all of the NBA, not just the premier teams. So, and the Cavs used to be a premier team, so they're coming back to glory. But you mean to tell me that if this team does this, our number one responsibility is to protect LeBron's hide, protect his legacy? What if the Cavs win the championship this year? It's very possible. They can beat the Thunder. I don't think, when I look at the Lakers, I don't see a team that can beat the Thunder. I don't even see a team that could beat the Nuggets. I know everybody's so hyped about the game that they won last week or a couple weeks ago, but bro, Jokic had 7 points. Do you ever think that's ever going to happen again? And they have more talent than the Nuggets. They do. Clearly, they have more talent. Murray's falling off a cliff. And Porter is just Porter, bro. Aaron Gordon is Aaron Gordon. They don't have enough role players to get the job done. So they could beat the Nuggets, but I don't think they will because Jokic is just a winner. He just is. Let's see if Luka can carry them out of it. But let's say the Thunder, and it's the Thunder and the Cavs finals. And keep in mind, I'm not saying all number one teams win they pretty much do though. But let's say it's the Thunder and the Cavs final. The Cavs win a championship. Something that took LeBron like 18 years to do. Oh my gosh, I just thought about that. LeBron had to come back twice. There's no way they'll let the Cavs win. There's just no way that the NBA will allow the Cleveland Cavaliers to win a championship this year. It will destroy. If Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell win a championship, it would destroy LeBron James's name and legacy. Because it took him all these trades, all this super teaming, all those number one picks that they had built together, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, and him, and trading Andrew Wiggins, a number one pick, and all this to win one championship. And you mean to tell me less than a decade later, two young punks come into it? Yo, that would be the greatest story ever for anybody who's not a LeBron James supporter. Like, that would be the greatest story ever told. That a team won 71 or 72 games and won the chip. Won the chip. That's incredible, bro. I didn't even think about that till right now. Oh my gosh. Let me know what y'all think, fanboys, in the comment section. Just everybody in the comment section. What y'all think about that, man?
Level of urgency. Cleveland is having the best season in franchise, not in franchise history, but in a very long time in terms of the regular season. And I think the last team to win at this rate was
that defending LeBron irks me. Like he said, not the best, but in a very long time. What's the very long time? Because when LeBron came back to the Cavs, he wasn't really chasing number one seeds like that. Like he got it when he won the chip, but he wasn't trying to be a 70-win team, right? And then when you look at what he did in 2009, like he was younger, and what he did in 2009, 66 wins when the Boston Celtics and the Lakers were both like at the top of their game, incredible. But for you to just be like, oh, it's there. Clearly, look at the statistics, look at the math. Clearly, if they've only lost 10 games this far into the season with 63 games being played, with 19 games left, the most that they should ever they should lose is 3 more games, statistically speaking. There's no way that they lose 3 more games, though. They'll probably lose 1 or 2 unless the refs or somebody gets hurt. And let's hope that none of that happens. Let them get this 70-win season. And like I said, only like 4 teams have ever done it. Maybe 3.
What, the 2009 Cavs, if I remember correctly. But like, this team is playing really well. They're stoked. Every game is another opportunity for them to continue to build this cool new thing. Oklahoma City This is their first year where they're like, we actually can win the title. We're a dead serious team. Let's go get this thing every night. And all their players are like 26 and younger. Boston's older. Jason Tatum's the only guy in their core 8 who's 26 and younger. They have won the championship before. They've been in all these deep playoff runs. They are not under the same level of day-to-day give a shit that the other teams are in the league.
He's true. He's right about that, but that could also be to their downfall. Like when you have teams that have an overwhelming abundance of talent, though, there's always a opportunity for them to just win just off of talent. Like, who cares? This team has 10 more wins than us, but we could just win just because we have so much more talent. But when you look at the Cavs, their players, if you look at it from the lens of last year's season or even the season 2 years ago, then you're going to look at this team and think, okay, they just don't have enough. But when you look at the development that they've had throughout this entire season, from Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, from everybody, the way that they've developed, they've all become better players. They are a well-oiled machine. They have more talent, and they're not a talentless team. Like sometimes talentless teams, let's go back to the 2016 Hawks with the Kyle Korver and all. Sometimes you got a we believe team that just does it. This Cavs team isn't really a we believe team. Donovan Mitchell has always been that guy. From day one, his first season, he sent Russell Westbrook and Paul George home as a rookie in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell now has the pieces and a team perfectly built around him that doesn't have another top 5 player or some shit, because who knows what he would do on that team. But just in nature, I know he has trouble with Rudy Gobert with the Jazz, but he's a winner. What I've always liked about Donovan Mitchell is he's a winner. He's not some lockdown defender, though, which he should be at 6'6" or 6'5", but he's a freaking winner. You don't really see too many players like that. It's like what Jimmy Butler does in the playoffs, where you just play off Jimmy. Like, Donovan Mitchell is kind of cut from that same cloth. So I really could see this team beating the Celtics. If I was to watch that series, I would probably say the Celtics win in 7. I think if it goes anything, for the Cavs perspective, if it goes anything less than 7, then that's a failure. Unless you win clearly. Like, if you beat the Celtics in 6 or 5, and it works in your favor, then great. But if the Cavs lose the series and it goes anything less than 7 games, that's a failure. And if it goes 7 games, then I think it's any man's game, because like I've already said plenty of times, I still do not trust Jason Tatum. The only time I've ever seen him step up in a serious game was when he did it against Joel Embiid and James Harden. And those dudes we already know who they are now. Like, they've been exposed for years. But yeah, he had a dominant game against them. But come on, bro. Like, if we're being for real, Jason Tatum is known to wet the bed when it matters in pivotal games, outside of playing other motherfuckers who wet the bed, like James Harden. So I could see them losing a game 7. I could see them dominating and winning a game 7, because it's just too much talent. But either way, the way the Cavs are playing this year, there's no way that this doesn't go to a game 7. And that's not considered a failure. And for the Oklahoma City Thunder, I still have doubts about them. But one thing I do realize is, like, Shea is a monster. Chet Holmgren's injuries throughout the season, though, it makes you... Because although they're rookie... Well, I shouldn't call him... I think he's a sophomore. But although he stepped up and is becoming a star, he is still wet beyond the ears. Shea's a vet, though, at this point. I think he's 27. That's like the first steps of your prime, bro. Like, there's nothing to worry about him. But is Chet Holmgren going to show up? Is he going to show up? You do have Alex Caruso, though, and I think that was a big pickup for him. The defense is, top notch. They're super fast. I don't see the Lakers play them in a couple weeks anyway. twice. So let's see if they run the Lakers off the floor. I think they probably will, because you're going to see a lot of, just like last night, you see a lot of LeBron James not playing defense, playing 4-on-5 and him trying to cherry. You know, there was a couple times last night too, y'all, where LeBron was trying to cherry pick and Jason Tatum just stayed behind with him. He was like, nah, bro, you're not finna not play defense, pretend, argue with the refs, and then they're going to throw you the ball for a quick layup. And he did that to him a couple times in the third quarter. And I think LeBron was kind of pissed off because I could see it on his face.
And the reality is, when the shit hits the fan and they need to turn it up, they can put together multiple 5-man groupings where none of them are a real weak point on the defensive end of the floor, and all of them can dribble, shoot, and pass really well. So, like, you're in this situation where it's like, oh shit, we either have to leave our worst defender on Tatum and Brown one-on-one and just pray that they take stupid shots and miss, or we're going to have to send a second defender and allow them to get these catch and shoot looks that they burn everybody with. And what you just saw tonight was a team with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves unable to create a decent look for like a 15-minute stretch of game time. That's
because the Celtics have true defense, bro. They have a truly built team. And keep in mind, because everybody was talking about them not having we're not having a center, but bro, Kristaps didn't play. He didn't play last night. So who's better? If Kristaps played last night, the Lakers might have lost by 30, and there might not have been a comeback. The only reason why they even came back is Luka could finally get that bum LeBron off the team and onto the bench with that damn groin injury. This is I'm gonna do another part on this video though. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.